Today is definitely a gray and gloomy day. We do have winds, and the glass structure is holding up. We are rethinking the pump area just because it's kind of small, but I did want it small because it's easier to keep at a moderate temperature. If it was a bigger room like this, it would get cold quicker. But I don't know, it's really hard to get the hoses connected when we have to disconnect it because it's not insulated yet. So still, when we get freezing temperatures, we drain it and then we put it in Panda to store it until the next day. Panda is insulated and also has a furnace system. I still have to get an extend-a-stay and hook it to an external tank. That way I can take the tank into town and fill it up, because obviously I can't take this into town. It's permanently here with no tires. But anyways, we were thinking about using this old battery bank area, which was the old refrigerator area, and putting the pump in here. I already have a rubber matting down just for any leaks, just in case. Hopefully there won't be any. And it'll be insulated. The box is already insulated. I just have to insulate this door area. There is already a battery system on Panda, but this is mainly external and for the lights and fans and all that. I had redundant systems on Panda, so there are 3 100-watt panels that run that battery bank over there. And this panel here is not being used. Jeff just bought a Renogy charge controller, and we're going to put it next to the other charge controller there. And that way the DC port we can run down here and it won't be long span, and this is where the water pump is going to go. And then instead of a curtain here, I can put a door in that's insulated, so this whole box will be insulated. This system came with the temperature module and the Bluetooth sensor. That way we can check the battery level on Bluetooth on the phone, which will be awesome. I've got to get this cleaned up, mount the charge controller, and then we're gonna install the pump. We also have to find the battery. We're just using a lead acid battery for the system because it's not as affected as lithium with the colder weather. So this will be better for now. We can always change it later. We're just trying to find the bolts so we can actually connect, and I think he did find them. Awesome. What are you doing, Rugrat? Are you trying to get up on the table? That's not happening. Oh, you need shorter bolts?
Yeah.
Well,
at least it's the right thread. You can get shorter ones down at the hardware store.
Yeah, definitely.
It only goes in like less than halfway.
Right.
But at least you can take one of these bolts.
And we can also, if they don't have short enough bolts, we can always put washers in. Okay, here we go. That was easy enough. We've decided to put the battery in here because it's just a shorter distance and it'll be better for the system. I've already wiped everything down. I had to sweep this one out because there was no outdoor access like down here. And I have wiped everything down in here. So we're starting with a clean slate. Putting the wires on the charge controller. And fortunately, I already had an existing charge controller here, so I had all the spare parts, and they had all the connectors already on them, so that makes the job way easier. Ed came over so we can go and grab some water. We also have to go get some PEX so we can run the lines for a permanent system for the pump. We got Crazy Dog back there. Look at that, crazy. Hey Jeff, are you there? There you are.
Good girl, yeah, good girl. Good girl.
We're here at the hardware store towards the back in the plumbing sector. Oh, I think their hoses are back here. Gotta grab some PEX. There it is. There's the blue, there's the red. Not sure what the white is for. Huh.
Picky ass contractors have to have 2 different colors to tell hot from cold.
I think, yeah, that's.
The rest of the world constructs houses.
So we can use the white. Okay.
All RVs, like all the PEX in your RV, is white.
Right. Okay.
They don't need red and blue.
Okay.
red and blue are for people that need red and blue to tell them hot or cold. Okay, that can't look at the faucet and tell from what it...
That's under the faucet.
I mean, most people, like when I want to know what the faucet is, I look and say H and C, and then I look underneath to see which one's connected. Because when in a normal house, everything's one color.
Okay, so we're going with white. Thank you, Ed, for your explanation. And this is the 3/4, right?
Yeah.
Now to find the connectors. Whoa, it's getting a bit windy, and I hear a helicopter. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's probably landing at the airport. I have another project I'm going to be working on, so I'm going to be grabbing 4x4 posts. They're about 18 bucks a piece. I'm running out of steam and energy, so I'm making me a chocolate coffee. That should be good. Obviously, some stevia. Then I have some cacao powder. I just put a spoonful in. Also some pumpkin seed oil. Then some organic half and half. Oh, I'm out. I need to go get some more. So good. Chocolate coffee. This always gives me energy. Delicious. While I'm doing the chocolate theme, I love this Lily's dark chocolate. It's made with stevia. Oh, Donnie made some chicken. Chicken. Where are you going to, Kellogg? Here's some of the other supplies, but that's a different project. We have to finish with the wiring system, but this is what's going to be replaced is the hose with the PEX and the insulation. So that way the lines won't freeze. Okay, so we had a little hiccup. We ordered the circuit breakers like this one here to go on this system, but they did not come in the mail today, so we'll have to pause on that. What we did get in the mail though are the short hoses. These I think are about 10 foot. I'm having to use the older battery wires, and they are fine, but the ring terminals are a bit rusty. So I'm going to put some WD-40 on that and a wire brush to clean it up. Works awesome, just like new. This is the DC plug for the pump. I had to change these out because they weren't big enough to fit in the battery. So it's done. I just have to shrink up the heat shrink for it. And then we'll be good to go. I can connect this. Okay. Now I have to do is hook up the negative and positive to the battery, and this outlet will be ready. The power is on to the plug, so the pump can use the power, except there's nothing charging the battery, like I said, because we don't have the 40 amp breaker, and the positive for the solar is not coming in to charge it. But I mean the power is usable. I'll just, once we get the breaker in, hopefully tomorrow, fingers crossed, then we can hook everything completely up, and then the battery will be charging. We've got the pump and the pressurized tank in. Good thing we put the rubber matting down because the water that was in there is leaking out a little bit, so this will just run off and it can run out. These are some of the connectors that we're working with. We actually have the pinch clamps and the tool. We borrowed from Bruce because he already had the tool, and it gets pretty expensive. I think the tool's like about 75 bucks or more. More pinch clamps. We've got elbows. That way we don't have to bend it. And another elbow. And 2 female and 1 male connector. Oh, no, sorry. 2 female and 2 male connectors. I didn't even notice that there was more in here. There's 2 more hoses. These ones are the 4 foot instead of the 10 foot?
12.
12? Oh, those are 12 foot. Okay, and then we also have the splitters, because we're going to install a drip system eventually, and that's what these lines are going to go for. I think we're going to, the other one's a spare. I think we're going to use this one. Yay! I'm so excited. Nice. That'll make it easier for watering. And as I explained earlier, the drip system is going to go through here. Well, one specific one is. Okay, so we have another hiccup. These are actually, she picked out the NPTs. It's the male NPT. And it's actually, the ones that go to faucets and garden hoses is GHT. So we have to return these. Ugh. Alright, the steaks are done. I'm doing some ribeye steaks in the air fryer. It's about 12 minutes on each side for medium. I'm also doing cauliflower rice with chopped up spinach and arugula. I'm going to do a cream sauce in here. The cream sauce is just going to be half and half with some cheddar and then also some sour cream with garlic and a little salt and pepper. Okay, let's check them. Oh, that looks amazing. I love the air fryer. It does so well. So like I said, I did that 12 minutes on each side at 350. I'm gonna let the steak rest for about 10 minutes. I put a sweet potato, it's a pretty large one, in the microwave in a wrapped wet napkin for 6 minutes, and then I'm gonna do it in the air fryer for 10 minutes to soften and crispen it up. So normally I think for a normal size sweet potato, because this one is pretty large, you put it in for 5 minutes in the microwave and then 5 to 6 minutes in the air fryer. But since this one is so large, like I said, I'm doing it 10 minutes in the microwave and then 10 minutes in the air fryer. Hopefully it'll be nice and soft with a crispy outside. Wrapped up in aluminum foil. Oh, crap. It barely fits in there. Hold on. Okay. And that goes in for 350, 10 minutes, and start. I am running my air fryer on the 1000-watt inverter, and I don't go up to 400 degrees because it's a little too much for the 1000-watt, so I just cook it at 350. Some directions say cook it at a higher temp, but I just cook it a little longer at a lower temp, and it works out just fine. This is sauteed down. Looks just like rice, but it's just cauliflower. And, like I said, some arugula and spinach. It's time to add in the half and half. Usually I use heavy cream with my cream sauces, but I don't have any. So half and half will work. I'll just add more cheese so it's thicker. Look at how yummy those steaks look. Like I said, I just add in some half and half. That's about a cup. A big squeeze of sour cream, and a handful of, this is cheddar jack. Actually, we'll do 2 handfuls since I used half and half and we want it cheesier. And then turn it up. I had it on low. I'm going to turn that up and I'm going to let the cheese sauce melt. I'm just going to let this melt together. Might have to add a little more half and half. Oh yeah, that looks perfect. It's really thick and creamy. That's how you want it to be. It's like a cheesy rice, but it's not actual rice, it's cauliflower. Then it has the greens mixed in. Okay, I'm gonna set that on low and then we'll get everything together. Okay, we still have about 6 minutes on the sweet potato. Oh yeah, it is steaming hot inside. Awesome. Okay, dinner is served. Wow, even half of that sweet potato is huge. But it looks good. Actually, maybe next time I'll do 8 minutes instead of 11 on each side for the steak, because it is more medium well than it is medium. Gotta make moo-moo some dinner, and it is creepy, scary movie night. We're watching Silent Hill Revelations, I believe. It's the next day, and we've come into the UPS store to check if the packages have arrived, so we can finish the project. Yay! They've come in! Awesome! We can finish. We also stopped at Home Depot, so we could grab the right parts. Yeah, for the pecs, because they were the wrong parts that we had gotten. So yes, we are headed back to finish the project. Now to install the breakers. Yay, finally.
Solar system charging.
One is for the solar panels and one is for the battery. Both breakers are in, we just have to install the wires. I'm tightening up the positive. There we go, we're good to go. Everything is hooked up. The solar's coming in here, positive over there, negative over here, and they come into this. And then the negative and positive, obviously negative goes here, and then the positive goes through the breaker, and then to the positive part of the battery. And we already have an outlet hooked up for the pump. Last thing to do is cut on the breakers. So this is for the battery. And there it goes, it's cutting on. 12.1 is with the battery, but it'll have time to charge. And now for the solar. There we go. We had a hummingbird moth come inside the rig. So beautiful. I love these things, and they're supposed to be a sign of good luck. We have plenty of them on the property. They actually feed on the flowers just like hummingbirds do. They have this tentacle that comes out. So beautiful, such a beautiful creature. But yeah, so it flew by my head. I was like, what the heck is that big thing? Because they sound like hummingbirds when they fly because their wings are so big. So yeah, I realized it was a hummingbird moth, so we caught it. And I'm going to release it now. I think it's ready to get out. We're having to dig 18 inches deep. We do have foam around the hose, but we just want to make sure it doesn't freeze. Oh my god, it is so rocky here. I'm exhausted. It's hard to dig here. I've made it to about here. Just got this little bit to go. And it's going to go up into Panda. And Jeff is doing the outline right now. It's going to go into the laundry room, where it's going to meet into a 5 connector. And then it'll disperse from there. Look at some of these huge rocks we're having to dig around. That sucker's huge. There's a couple of those. Okay, I need a break. I'm exhausted. I've already drilled the hole for the piping to come through. I'm going to put PVC pipe on the outside so that way mice can't chew at the insulation. And it'll run in here, so the PVC pipe fits snug right up to it and will block it. And then we'll caulk around that and also probably glue it in place. And the insulation will fit through this hole just perfectly. Oh, that was painful. We had to drill through the floorboard here because the compartment is on the lower part, and then all this emptiness is where the hot water heater was. So yes, we had to drill through the floor. And as you can see, there was a little insulation and also wood. We're dry fitting, making sure everything is fitting properly, and the insulation can still fit in here, so the pipe will be protected and insulated for the winter. Okay, now let's make sure it goes through that bottom hole. That's it. We're there. Awesome. Now I've got to cut the PVC pipe, and I see where I've got to dig to. It's not that much more. Ugh, hope there's not a lot of big rocks there. So we had an issue here. There's a drawer, and we had to make sure not to hit the drawer, but the drainage for the sink is here, so we had to not hit that as well. Well, that was a feat. He's opening up the PEX now, and we're going to use the insulation as a guide, so the PEX should fit right in there. I had to take the insulation off. It was way too hard to run with the insulation there, so I will run the insulation afterwards. I've got the PEX up to this point, and we've had to buy these connectors here because this is NP threading and this is GH threading, which that's what that is GH threading. We're using this tool actually for our copper pipe, but it works on the pecs as well. So we've got that fitting together. We just need to clamp everything down, but we're waiting on the tool. Just getting the elbow on. There we go. Now we can connect it. Right. Okay, got it. I'll hold it while you... Let me hold it. Do you need me to pull it up a little bit more? Sit at a bad angle?
It's threaded.
It's threaded? Okay. Okay, I think we're good. Awesome. We just have to put the insulation on after we clamp it. Jeff is gonna cut where the elbow is in the ground. That way there's not a lot of tension. And this will go all the way to the water tank. I'm excited it's getting done. What you doing, Kellogg? What you doing? With your big head? Who's got the big head? Oh, look at your eyeballs. Are you supervising? Moo-moo usually supervises, but I think she's taking a nap. Yeah, she got a bath earlier, so did Kellogg. And then she went and laid in the dirt, which kind of defeats the point. And now she's taking a nap. The wind has picked up. It's not very pleasant. Although, if you're sitting over there by the patio, it's not as windy, so that's definitely working. Got it? Yay! Okay, let me grab an elbow. Just measured that, it's 23 inches, so I have to cut the PVC pipe that length, so that way the PVC pipe will be buried underneath, so the mice won't eat at the foam. Jeff is running the insulation first before I cut the PVC pipe. Then I'm gonna remeasure it, make sure that we've got the right measurement. Measure twice. Got it? You have to guide it. That's what I did last time. Here, if you want me to do it, I can. It's coming through. Just make sure you guide it through that second hole. No, you gotta guide it from the bottom. Yep. It's coming through.
Trying to get some slack.
Right. There it goes. Here. I cut it at the bottom and we got it up to this point. Now I'm just gonna add this to the top part and then run it through. I'll wait for that part to pull it up because we still have to clamp it. Alright, let me get this around this. Yep, that's good. We might have to cut a little bit off of another one and add this. Yeah. So this is gonna go flat against the bottom of the RV, and then I'm gonna silicone it. And all we have to do is clamp that. I've already got the elbow on. Yay, we have the proper tools. So this is the crimper to crimp the fittings, and this is the actual PEX cutter tool. It works much better. Jeff has the privilege. Probably shouldn't say that, but Jeff has the duty of crimping the clamps. I don't think it's gonna be that complicated since we have the tool. Okay, oh yeah, your sunglasses might not help. Oh no, here, maybe I can get it. Alright, so it should unlock once it's done. Yay! First one done. Okie dokie. I even insulated this because we could just pull that back if we need to get to it. And it goes all the way down through the cabinet and into the ground. Cactus needle. a lot more complicated here.
You don't have a lot of room.
Oh my god, that was complicated. We have all the tools and the tape because we have to tape the adapter on right here. And then we'll pull the line in. I think Jeff's getting it run right now. And I'm also gonna put a PVC pipe here over the insulation because it'll be exposed. Fitting is together and on the faucet. I wanted it there so I knew where to cut the pipe. Okay, let's go ahead and clamp this. Let me flip this around. Alright, that should do it. I have the pipe connected, the water's still off. I just have to slide this PVC pipe up to protect it. I had to take the tape off. Okay, there we go. Water is on, it's not leaking, and it's not leaking here. And I just have to take the rest of the tape out and finish this. Jeff already did the rest of the line there. There you go, all done. The inlet hose is done. We just have to rebury it, which will be much easier than digging this rocky soil out.
To pieces, yeah, I need it. Won't you bend them on?